camera working? Come on, camera. Don't die on me now. Hello, guys. Sorry if the camera is... Yeah, the camera's not. It's being a bit of a nuisance today. Let's see. Yeah, it's frozen, I know. I'll see if I can get it powered on here. Come on, give me a signal. So the camera just decided to disconnect while the pre-stream was running. Yeah, it's not. Let me just try to go in here. Oh, hello. Apart from that, the position of it is all wrong. Let's see if we can... There we go. That's a lot better, isn't it? Now we're talking. Hello, guys. How are you doing? And I have control over the camera again, which is nice. Awesome. How are you guys doing? Let me just check if everything is working here as it should. So I should... Yeah. Yeah. Stuff is working as it should. Bunny cam. Bunny's hiding behind the joystick, as always. Oops, there we go. Okay, that's working. Nice. Yeah, new camera angle. Actually, a new camera as well. New camera position then. Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, I am in the process of completely rebuilding my entire cockpit. That means that everything's been moved around. I'm waiting for a new monitor to show up. So that means I'm using my old monitors, my main monitors. That's gonna go out on the side as a secondary. New monitor coming in. That camera position might change slightly. I kind of like the position where it's in. So I might move it like a little bit to the right or something. Just to give it slightly more room for the new monitor as it is quite a bit bigger. But it's... yeah, nice little camera. It's an Insta360 Link. Not a sponsor. Paid for it myself. Really liking it. Especially because you have all that, you know, I guess on a gimbal, right? So I can just have preset position, so I can show you guys around the new place here. Like you can see there's the mixer board is there, right? And there's the there's my joystick. We're not going to be using that much today, but there's the joystick there. Going to the center, there we go. We can see I have my two control panels fitted up here, and tablet mounted here in the center. So if I have anything I want to run on that, I can do so. Mug, keyboard, mouse, and over here is the other joystick. The other side also hard mounted there. So that's nice. And then I'm here. Yes, as Dungle said, today is the Discord partner mug. Yeah, I like the new camera, the new light position. I've moved the lights up higher. Can I show? Oh, can I? I can try. Hold on. I am here. Hold on. Let me just see if I can spin the camera around far enough. I don't think it will go around that far. I'll probably need to go the other way if we want a chance. So there's you guys. There's the monitor. And no, you can only look into the cable clutter. Maybe can we look under it? I don't think you can look under it. No, the PC is behind all this stuff here. We can't go that far back. It doesn't work. Can't see it. Number one whirlpool hidden into the desk. Number two. No, so the number one whirlpool is not hitting into the desk. If we go and take a look at, was that one you were talking about? It's not actually hitting the desk. There is space between here and the desk. And I've also tried, even with the trigger, I can use the trigger. I can slightly touch the table here, but I need to kind of reach for it. But I can comfortably use the triggers here. And I can even go there. I need to go there. It is slightly hitting. When I go to that, so if I go full forward, strafe all the way to the right and try to strafe downwards at the same time. Then I will kind of hit the table a little bit, but it's such a small amount that it's okay with me. Because alternatively I need to move that back, or I could just, easy would just be to adjust the angle. You can't see it here, but this is on a set extension. So I could just adjust the angle to kind of lift this part of the joystick up slightly, then I would have plenty of room, right? Is that a Rodecaster? Yes, so you're talking about the that one. That is a Rodecaster Pro 2. I don't know if you can see. If I maybe remove the handle, you can see a little bit better. There. That's a Rodecaster Pro 2, where I have like control over like my microphone. If I want to control mic levels, I have the Stream PC. I have the game PC, Stream PC. If I want to connect any kind of like music, it will go on here. It could, for instance, be the tablet that I could connect here. This one is like sound effects, so I have like all this soundboard here. There are multiple different layers of sound effects that I can use if I so wish. So you can do something silly like if you want to. Not sure how much I'm going to use it, but it is there. Soro, thanks a lot for the super chat. Can you control all axes in Elite Dangerous with that? Yes, I can. So on this one over here, I have my forward axis, my reverse axis. I have strafe left, right, up, and down. So this is all translation, right? There's no rotation on this axis. This is just forward, backwards, left, right, left, up, down, right? But on this axis over here, I have my pitch, my roll, and my yaw. So I have all 6 axes covered here on these axes here. Yeah, I need to move over and put all my notifications over to Stream Elements because it's getting silly. So it's 6 degrees. I've always my verbal equipment has not changed. Like that's always been the same. Like both that joystick, that one, and the 2 control panels here in the center. I've had those for a very long time. And that's not going to change. I've always had this 6-degree of freedom. The new thing is that the whole thing is mounted in this sim rig. You could kind of get a feeling for it if I just can show you a part of it over here. Again, there's some stuff missing, so bear with me. But you can see over here, there is a arm, right? You see the arm? That arm there? The main monitor is going to go on that. And got to partly cover up that arm there. You can pull. That's the one that goes up to one of the lights. And you can also see the microphone up there, just out of sight. And see how close the microphone gets now? That also means that, like, usually it would be like an arm's length away from me. You can see how much closer it is now, and that also is going to help tremendously with sound quality. Yeah, that's the flight setup. Again, there is going to be a full dedicated video where I go with the whole build process, and when the final things arrive, I'm also going to show you the final thing. So if you're interested in seeing the whole process, this being built from the ground up, like everything basically, I've been recording quite a bit, and I'm probably going to make I am going to make a video out of it, but I'm going to wait until it's actually done. Before I begin worrying about making videos about that. So, yeah. But at least the new camera, super happy with it. And the sound quality, yeah, because one of the things with the sound quality is I already have a pretty good mic. Like that mic there, is a Rode NTG4, not NTG4 Plus. It doesn't have a battery, so it has to be supplied with phantom power. which you can see run through the cable up here. But as you can see, it is a shotgun mic. It is really good at noise isolation, but the further away it comes, the more room it picks up. And because I got it so close to me now, that means that it has a lot easier time just getting away from all the noise. You see, what's the noise floor actually? Hold on, just be quiet here for a second. Yeah, so my noise floor is sitting at around minus 50 dB right now, which I think is pretty good. And that is with 2 PCs sitting right back there running full tilt. There's also why normally you would like these nice big microphones because they have an easier time picking up. But if you can get a small microphone close to you, you can get amazing quality. I'll just show you something here. Oh, here's another thing I want to show you. Can I show this? I don't know if the camera can get the angle. I hope it can. It should be able to. So if you go down here, you can see the chair. And I can't get out right now because there's like joysticks and everything in the way here, right? So how do you get out? There is just as in a car handle that slides the whole chair back, and then I can actually get out here. But I'm just going to go and get something. Hold on. Be right back. There we go. Minus 50 speed. Yeah, minus 50 dB is nothing. But what I wanted to show you is my go-to microphone whenever I'm doing anything outside this exact space. If I'm not streaming from here, if I'm doing anything, if I'm doing reviews of anything, my go-to microphone has for years been this little thing. Where's the camera? There's the camera. This is a Rode SmartLav. It's a small, what's called a lavalier mic. And what I like about this one is you can just plug it into your phone at the other end. So just a small jack goes into your phone, and then it records clearly on your phone. It gets amazing audio quality. And you just basically like put that there, and then you just take the cable into the shirt and then into your pants pocket. And then you have a microphone really close to you and you get really good audio. But obviously, tether then is not super fun. If you're sitting here, you're moving around, you don't want to have a tether. So I usually don't use lav mics when I'm in a static setup. Lav mics are more for when I'm in a more mobile space. Thunderfoot says, what do you use to hold your joystick and throttle? I don't have a throttle, I have two joysticks, but basically you can't really see it, but the whole frame that I'm in right now, hold on, I need to turn my mic down a little bit. It's a bit on the loud side, I'm peaking a bit, so I'm just gonna pull that back to like there, give it a little bit down. There we go. You can't really see it, but the whole frame, it's like a. You guys have probably seen those like racing sim rigs. It's one of those that's I've just built up for flight sims instead. So you can see that I'm kind of like. If we actually you can see these the plates here. These plates here are mounted. Maybe actually, if I move myself a little bit, you can see it. If I move away, you can just see the end of it here. That is an extruded aluminum rail, and the whole frame is built out of these extruded aluminum rails. Here, you could kind of see it up here before. It was easier to see over. Oops, where's that? Let me zoom out a bit so I actually see. There you can see one of them. Actually, that's perfect. There's an extruded aluminum rail, and there's going to be another monitor there. Actually, this monitor here is going to go over on that arm when the other monitor arrives. But yeah, That's the plan. But everything is just mounted on these extruded aluminum rails. That the seat is mounted to it. Everything is mounted to it. Just getting here. We're coupling soon, very soon. I'm just getting excited to show off my new cockpit. But we will be doing it, and we will do some Kerbal here in just a minute. And I got. Is this important? No, it's not important for now. Good. But actually, let's enough cockpit. Again, if you want to see more about the cockpit, see the whole build, if you haven't subscribed already, go and do that. There will be a video out. It might be a few weeks because there might be a big patch coming up in Star Citizen very, very soon. If that's the case, there's obviously going to be a ton of videos coming out regarding that. But for now, yes, for now we're gonna play some Kerbal. The plan for today in Kerbal is to go and play around with satellites. I've been spending a few live streams now playing around with shuttles with mixed success. So I want to go and play around with something a little bit more simple, hopefully. This is to try and play with the way satellites are implemented into Kerbal. So that's what I want to do today. That's what we're going to do. And hopefully it should be a ton of fun. So I think without further ado, I just want to go and jump into the game. And then let's go and let's blow up some rockets. And let me just get you guys back. There you are. Hello, guys. Okay. That was our very silly attempt at another like kind of shuttle. Basically a plane on a rocket and send that up and fly. Anyway, that's not what we're going to do today. We are going to start a new craft. New. Yes. Okay. So basically, the first test I want to do is to go in and look at some of these probe cores, because do they have electronic charge? Data transmitter 50 M. So that is 5. Now hold on. 50 million kilometers. No, 50 million, sorry, meters, which is. Doesn't sound right. Is my math completely off here? Are we looking at 15,000 kilometers? That's basically the entire Kerbal. That's the entire Kerbal sphere of influence. $15,000 kilometers, but that's the entire, like, hold on, let's just go to the tracking station here. That should be the entire, not training center. What can we do in the training center? Oh, okay, so these are just tutorials. Okay, like training scenarios. Might actually be fun to go and do those. And I want to go to the tracking station. We have a bunch of stuff floating around in space. So you can see this one is 13. There's no one in this. It's just an empty can, basically. Just gonna get rid of some of the debris. So if that's 13,000 kilometers, that means we can basically go anywhere in this, and we will have a line of, we'll have access. But question is, like, line of sight. Oh, I'm just gonna double check that there's no one in that. No. Seat is empty. Right, all right. We did have a Kerbal in it, and then we ran out of fuel, and and then we kind of had to fly him back in his EVA suit. Joey asking, I hate this, that every time you move mouse out of the game, it minimizes it. Stop it. It annoys me. No, okay, first thing I want to do is just build a very, very simple rocket around a probe core. It seems like all of these basically have... Yeah, okay, so all the probe cores seems to have 50,000 kilometer range. That means that all of them can just be contacted. Can't change from full screen to borderless. I believe I am actually in borderless. At least I wanted to. But I think it still does it. Yeah, look at that. It still does it. I don't get it. It doesn't matter. We're just going to try not to move out of the game. Okay. Basically, what I want to do is we're just going to take this and launch it. And the mission... Okay, the mission is simple. Get up, get into orbit. Make this thing do an orbit and see if we lose control when we lose line of sight to the Kerbal Space Center. If we lose line of sight to it and we then lose control over it, then we know that it works the way I think it does. And after that, we're just going to crash the thing into the ground and burn it up in the atmosphere. At least I didn't have a lot of very... at least I didn't have a lot of very embarrassing documents open in the background. Look. I've been live streaming for like 7 years. And one thing you learn is to always close everything. Even though if it's important or not, you close everything before you live stream. Because sometimes you don't think about it and you're sitting and you're reviewing some kind of things that you signed an NDA agreement. Trust me, that has happened. For people that they had some kind of NDA they signed, they have something up that they were not allowed to show. All of a sudden, they go out and they live stream and they show just a second on the screen by accident because they didn't close their NDA covered documents, and then you have a whole lot of trouble coming your way. So, you close everything before you start live streaming if you don't want to get into trouble. Okay, this is going to be a very basic setup. I'm not going to, again, we just need to go into space. So I'm going to build a very lazy rocket. Just like that. And let's just put some stabilizers here on the bottom. Just do that with four-way symmetry. Bam. Alright. That is a rocket. Let's just try and launch it and see what happens. What's going on out here? Hey. Oh, first night launch, I think.
Oknik, Ortau, Fer, Sod, Onu.
Oh, look at that. I'm just gonna begin to do a very gradual turn here. Just give it everything we got. Those fins are really doing their job. It's really sticking into the airstream here. Would love to have some, like some cameras so you could emulate like a TV coverage, like a ground camera tracking it. That would be awesome. Or just have like launch replays, so you could go back after you've done a launch and then basically replay it, but then just the rocket flies itself. But you have more camera controls and you can fly it without a UI and all that stuff. I am not sure I got enough fuel to get into orbit with this. Or maybe I did. Give you a second dongle. And just try to get this thing into orbit. We're about to run out of fuel. We are in space. So now this thing, oh, it has no reaction wheels. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. And there's no gimbling on this. Oh, there's some reaction wheels. It's not a lot. We're about to pass the threshold into space, so let's extend those solar panels and just ensure we have at least some energy before we head back into the dark. Okay, we have enough fuel to make an orbit, that's for sure. It's not going to be a very pretty orbit, but it's going to be an orbit. Okay, that should actually be fine, because that means when we come back here, we're just going to go slightly into the atmosphere. That is actually fine. I just want to see, because right now, you can see here, I can still turn it. I can still fire up the engine. So what happens? Because the Kerbal Space Center is there, so we still have line of sight to it. But what happens if I, like, time warp to there? There we go. We are now... Time warp over there. We are now well and truly outside line of sight with the Kerbal Space Center. Question is, do I still have control? I do. can see it can still be turned, so it will still get signals right now. Yeah, I have noticed that the reaction wheels in KSP2 is much less like powerful compared to. You actually need to make it a habit of actually fitting proper reaction wheels if you want to. What's a reaction wheel? It's basically like a spinning gyro that you can use to control. You can basically use electricity to control the spacecraft's orientation. You can't use it for propulsion, but you can use it to rotate the aircraft a lot, or the spacecraft a lot easier. It's basically just a oversized gyroscope. And we don't have RCS either. Okay, let's crash this thing. There we go. And I believe, oh look at that, that's pretty. I believe re-entry effects has not yet been implemented. Have any kind of like atmospheric effect. Let's try to fly in with the solar panels extended, because they should be ripped off when we begin to hit atmosphere. This should have been gone by now. We are down to less than 50 kilometers. There is some serious air running over the spacecraft right now. No effects and no heat. Okay, so we can just basically fly in with extended solar panels. Okay, but we didn't lose control of the aircraft, or the spacecraft. Hold on. Does that mean that... No, there is effects because we are losing... You can see here we are losing... I mean, it's affecting our orbit, but it's not affecting... It's not affecting the spacecraft itself. It's only affecting our trajectory. Like, we are slowing down when inside the atmosphere. So there's some effects. Oh, those reaction wheels inside of this working overtime. I think I can land this. If I can land this thing, that's next level stupid. Oh, the frame rates are gone. Yeah. We landed in a tree, but landed we will. I might have gotten off here. That might be a problem. Ah, lost the solar panel. Are we seeing seconds per frame jet? Yeah, frame rate is not amazing here. Perfect control. Yeah, with better reaction wheels, we could have landed this. A better landing than the shuttle last week. True that. There was actually a prettier landing. There was more parts that survived. Okay, I want to see what happens. Like, do we lose... like, how far out do we actually go in order to lose control? Oh, hold on. We lost the whole spacecraft. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, let's just build it again then. And just learn from our last flight there. The solar panels were kind of nice. So let's just put solar panels on again. Couplings. Stabilizers. I guess these should be reaction wheels. Yeah, these are reaction wheels, so put a reaction wheel in there. And then that engine, we're just gonna make the same upper stage. That kind of worked quite nice, like that a lot. And then just make a slightly, like, different second stage here. So basically build it like that, and then we're just gonna put a coupling in, and we're gonna expand this frame out to a bigger size, so we can put in an even bigger motor on this next stage. Wabam. Wabam. And then big engine. Big engine goes brrr. There we go, that's a big engine. And then we're just gonna slam some boosters on the side and call it a day. Maybe put some... and let's just make this four-way symmetry, because why not? Put those nice and low. And then find those oversized boosters. Could we... I found a way last week to move it down. There we go. Oh, that's actually a bit too low. We need to put it up further. Thought we could get away with it down there, but we can't. And boom, and it's just like through one of those cone or something. I don't know. I just work here. Yeah, let's just... I guess we're just gonna... like, there's no such thing as too many struts, so let's just strut it everywhere. There we go, it's now strutted everywhere, and let's just check our staging. No, don't do that. See, this is annoying. Yeah, so those will go down there. And then we will separate the boosters. We will separate that stage, turn on that stage, separate that stage. That should be good. So basically, hopefully this should be enough delta V. 9,000, almost 10,000 meters a second of delta V. We fly this thing. We basically just gonna... I don't really want to bother going into orbit. I think we have enough power just to go straight up and just keep going. And basically I just want to get as far away from Kerbin and see what happens when we... or if or when we eventually lose control of this. And just fly this as far as it will go.
They.
Our camera's all messed up again. Capture. Body. Yeah, this works. Can we time warp? Yes, we can time warp while engines are running. Look at that. Whee! Look at us go. Basically, I just want to go as far away as I can from Kerbin. And see when we're gonna lose. Okay?
All set.
There's our staging. No Kerbal nodes on board, so no G-limits. There is no Kerbal nodes on board. This is a probe body. I just want to see how far we can get with the probe body before we lose contact with the spacecraft. Ideally, it should be like 50,000. So if you have 50,000 kilometers, it should be. Damn, these engines just keep going. I think we overdid it with this stage. Look at that. We have barely used any fuel. We have we could go far with this. Not too powerful. We have time warp. And we are interplanetary. You know what? We're actually going out the wrong way. Let's just try to time warp out there. Can we do that? No, you can't time warp when time is not running. We should actually probably deploy those solar panels. Just slowly using the thrusters to point our prograde. And as soon as we have prograde, we're just gonna throttle all the way up here. Let's see if we have enough fuel to go interstellar. Just time warping until we run out of fuel. Almost there. Okay. Separate. And next stage. Again, just burning through these stages as fast as we can. See if we can have enough fuel to go into... I think we have enough fuel to go into Stellar here. And we are out of fuel on this stage. Eject that. And keep going on the last stage. I know interstellar travel has not yet been implemented. It is coming. But not yet. We are going like comet orbit here. And we are officially interstellar. Okay. Let's get that time warp going. See ya, Kerbin. Okay. Oh, here we go. Vessel out of communication range. So that means I have no control over anything anymore, correct? Yes, that is correct. And you can see I can't retract right now because I've lost connection with it. Okay, so that is just a 50,000 kilometer range. And if you want to move outside that range, you need to build a satellite network. And there don't seem to be any like restrictions. Oh, there we go. Any restrictions on like line of sight or anything like that. I would really like if they would implement that you have to have line of sight back. Being able to just send signals right through the planet. Bigger antenna. Yeah, we can begin to experiment with bigger antennas. We're going mighty fast here. Bye-bye, Kerbin. Might have ground stations around the planet. See if you lose communication on the backside of the moon. That's a good test. We should do that next. You're going interstellar a few months early, I think. Yeah, you're probably right. Oh, you're right. We can't see the whole system sphere of influence. Oh my god. That's gonna take a while to get there, though. like a very, very long time to get there. Because look, we are at full time warp right now. We've been flying for 11 years and we barely made it, like, we barely made a dent in the sphere of influence. Does KSP2 have functioning Lagrange points that could be helpful? No. So unfortunately, Lagrange points is not implemented. The way Kerbal both 1 and also seems the way Kerbal Space Program 2 is working is that each body has a sphere of influence, and if you are in that body's sphere of influence, then it's only that body that has a gravitational effect on you. So that means if you're close to Kerbin, you basically just orbit Kerbin as if that was the only planet. But if you move into another planet's or moon's sphere of influence, then that gravity take over and controls your orbit from that point forward until you leave the sphere of influence, and then the other planet will take over again. Voyager's been going for 47 years, so yeah, I mean, we're getting there, 19 years now, and I would definitely say we left the system. I mean, everything is back there. I don't understand what I'm seeing. I don't have the ability to hear audio where I am. Sorry. Oh, this is going to be a difficult live stream to understand then. Okay, let's go back and let's build... actually, just revert this one here to vehicle assembly building. Because what I want to do is I want to build, as suggested in chat, let's go and just try to do a quick trip around the moon. Just to see what happens when we're on the backside. And if we lose control over the spacecraft there. So I think we can basically keep this, but maybe like it was a little overkill, as we need to not really go that far. But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna move these up. Four-way symmetry. What was the shortcut again? That's the shortcut. Engines off. That one's off, that one just goes there, and then some smaller boosters on the side. Ba-bam. Some quick strutting here. Just to keep the thing attached. And just a nose cone for aerodynamics. Boom. That separates, okay. This should be enough to send us around the moon. This time we actually need to go into orbit then. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. I love this, looks amazing. Alright, let's just begin a very slow, gradual turn. I don't know if we have any kind of control over this. I have no control over the solid rocket boosters. They're just doing their thing now. But I do have control over the center engine, so I'm gonna try to turn this. This thing is not turning anywhere. I'm trying to turn, see. The sound is awesome, I agree. Hopefully we will have slightly more control over our spacecraft here as we get closer. As you can see, we haven't really turned much. We are about to lose the rockets or solid boosters. Oh, what's happening? And it's spinning out of control. Okay, hold on. Wait till we're pointing approximately the right direction. And then we're gonna fire up the engines. To help us slow us down. There we go. Look at that. Look at that save. Turn that back to lock. Begin to flatten out that orbit. Go set the camera to celestial. Body. That's the word we want to think. Maybe not. I don't know. Oh, we need to begin to circularize this orbit. We are going. Hold on, I'm just gonna try to burn around the horizon here. That should be fine for helping us circularize the orbit. We don't need that much more upwards, so we don't need to raise our apoaps. So we're just gonna burn at the horizon. That should keep our apoaps relatively stable. Oh, we're going slightly below the horizon now. But I'm just trying to get orbital speed right now. These engines are not doing much. Just time warping a bit. Hopefully they actually have enough thrust to pull us into orbit. Because now we are at apoaps. That means we're beginning to fall down, and we have quite a bit of space before we actually get into trouble here, but I think we're gonna be fine. Let's go back to real time here. Okay, we have an official orbit. Periaps is at 79. How do we manage that encounter? Oh, that is actually not that bad as I first thought. Okay, quick moon encounter. Let's see what we got here. I'm guessing like a maneuver node there. Maneuver plan. Try to boost our orbit out from here. See if we get a moon encounter. I might have been a little bit too late in the orbit. We can move that later. Oh, it was actually okay. Oh, look at that. Okay, I just want to get a slight moon encounter. That should be fine. We're just gonna circularize our orbit when we get there. Let's just time warp to there, just before our maneuver node. Hold on, can we actually just warp to maneuver? Ah, okay, that's clever. These engines are not too powerful, so I'm going to start the burn a little early. The next stage we get to has a little bit more power to weight than this stage does. We're just gonna keep boosting our orbit and hope we get that moon encounter. That's a moon encounter, all right. Just time warp there. And just scrap that maneuver node. Okay, we actually got pretty close. And we should actually get to the dark side of the moon, or the back side of the moon here. We're just gonna pull us into our orbit just because why not? So point the rocket retrograde. And time warp to just before periaps. Okay, so I am definitely not in if line of sight with Kerbin, yet I have control over the rocket. You can see I can still control the thrusters, which I could do. And ladies and gentlemen, we have achieved orbit. Okay, so conclusion is that the range that you can talk to the control center is basically just limited to the antenna. Right? So that leaves another question. So there's no bodies blocking line of sight. I really hope they implement that. That would be awesome. It's so much more fun when you have to worry about line of sight and building satellites and stuff like that. It just makes unmanned moon missions so much more difficult. So what I want to test now is just go back to the vehicle assembly building. And let's just see what kind of antennas is available, because the next question, of course, is there a limit to the range? Like, if we have 50,000 kilometer range on our if we have 50,000 kilometer range, does that mean that, let's say if we move outside the 50,000 kilometers, we obviously lose contact with the Space Center, but does the Space Center's antenna have a limited range? Or is that just infinite? Because can we just put any antenna up, and then if we have range, we can basically go? So again, let's just see. We have a number of different communication antennas here. This one can go 200,000. $86 gigameters. $130 gigameters. Let's build the larger version of this rocket again. And let's go back interstellar and see, because now we have 130 gigameters. So if we can keep contact with this, but we need more power, because we need more delta V, because I want to go faster. Okay, hold on, I have an idea. Can we just, while we test this, can we cheat? Where's the cheat settings? There's some cheat settings in here. Gameplay. Or is that something you enable on the campaign? Oh, here we go. Resources. Infinite propellant. On. So we can just build something that can just go insanely fast on no fuel at all. So we just build like this. And then we just do like structure. Bigger. 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 What's the biggest engine we have? Oh, we don't need that one. Is that the highest thrust engine we have? I need vacuum thrust here. 300. No, sorry, thrusts. That's the highest vacuum thrust we got. Okay, so now we're using cheats, but that's this thing here. This is gonna be fast. You guys ready? Oh no! No, it didn't work. We ran out of fuel. I thought we said it. Infinite propellant. Apply settings. Oh, right. Hold on. Because we do have fuel. There are fuel in those cone stages. I think. Maybe not. Okay. Now we have fuel. Did that apply? Okay, it did apply. Let's try to launch this. Much better. Oh, there's no gimbaling on this. This thing is insane. What's going on? I don't even... I guess our center of mass and center of So there's our center of drag. And it's basically on inside the center of... We need the center of drag to be behind the center of... So if I go... There we go. Now it's below. So that should be better. Oh, did that again. Yeah, we do have a reaction wheel on it. But it's not enough to maintain or to control our craft like this. But these winglets should do it. It just really does not like... flying stable, does it? I just need to get it into space. Should we just like reaction wheel our way out of this? Clearly fins didn't work. There we go. Now we have some reaction wheels. Parachute. See, that's okay. If that doesn't work, we gotta just put a drogue chute on the back and let that control us. Nope. Rifle it like a bullet. I'm not sure if that's gonna work, but we could try. Okay. Screw reaction wheels, I just want to try something. I'm kind of curious, why have they made this? Are there like some structural... Because there are no engines this big. LX, do we even have anything like... We have fuel tanks this big. But there's no engines that is this big. And the weird thing is, this engine just have gimbaling. Okay, let's just put in a proper fuel tank and see what happens. Like... No, not like that. Okay, so now this is an actual rocket. And then we just put stabilizer fins at the bottom and see if that will fly us up there. Oh, look at that. Center of pressure goes to the side. Even though we fit it with four-way symmetry. That explains the rotation when we use fins. Odd.
زين رقبتين
Okay, this seems slightly more... Nope. Why is this stupid rocket so hellbound? Gotta rotate our way to space. I guess it should be better when we get into space. I hope it's just atmospheric effects that's causing us problems. Have we made it into space yet? Not even close, not even halfway there. Oh, it's set for full throttle, okay. At least our rate of rotation is slowing us down. As long as we're pointing upwards, we're happy. See, now it's getting it under control now that we're out of atmosphere. It's just unstable inside the atmosphere. Okay, we're interplanetary. Ah, screw it. We have so much fuel we can just... It keeps saying we are partially out of fuel, so it keeps stopping the time warp. Which is slightly annoying. And the game crashed. It didn't like that at all. The game did not like that one bit. We did go interstellar, I know. But we did do that before and that kind of worked. Hold on, give me a second here while I boot the game up again. Come on, game. Launch. I'm really curious, like, first of all, I have two things I want to know. Can we get out of the solar system? Can we get out of range of the Kerbal Space Center? Okay, we are back in game. Hold on. Hey, we're still here. Ish. What's our orbit like? It auto-saved us. That's nice, I guess. There's one thing we need to do. We have a small antenna we need to open, so we actually get that range. It's annoying that even if we have the cheats on, hold on. Why is this gimbaling not turned on? Gimbal is enabled. It's like every time we begin to... Is that the little... Does this weird side engine? I wonder if that's what's causing it. Can you see how it's kind of pushing us sideways? That little extra engine there? Hold on, let me just try something. So that one, and then antenna on the on the top. And then from there, we're just basically gonna... Could we just take... It doesn't have that weird side thrust. I don't know if this will fly. It doesn't look like it should fly. Yet here we are. It might not look like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. Galaxy braid design right there. Who needs aerodynamics when you have pure power and infinite fuel? Okay, now we need to wait with the antenna until we're actually... Oh, it's on, it's askew. I didn't put it on straight. Yeah, the exhaust plumes looks amazing, especially how they change their shape as you go up. From being this much more like you're used to with this narrow cone, and it just goes out. Yeah, it's hello Hawks, by the way. We are testing the limit. Oh, hold on, we are outside the atmosphere now. We can deploy our antenna now. There we go. Up, up, and away! And this one doesn't seem to have the issues where it is constantly think it's running out of fuel. There we go, now we're flying in the right direction. This engine lifts, yeah, absolutely does. We are up at, like, the other one was only going at like 6,000 meters a second relative to the local star. So we are definitely going faster this time. I'm just gonna keep accelerating as we do have... I don't know how big the sphere of influence is, but I kind of wanna... Yeah, we're definitely going interstellar. But look at that, as soon as I start time warping, my speed doesn't go up anymore. So I need to not time warp. And I still have throttle control. What was the range? 130 gigameters. So right now we're at 70. Yeah, we're at 17 gigameters right now. And we need to get up to 130 before we theoretically should lose contact. I wonder if that's the edge of the Kerbin sphere of influence. By the way, we have broken 10% the speed of light. If we keep this up for a bit, we could actually go superluminal. You guys up for a little superluminal interstellar trip? Like, superluminal speed is within... is actually within reach here. Might take a while, but we'll get there. I like how my distance, though, doesn't really change at all. Okay, now it changes if we time warp. But we don't want to time warp because we want more speed. I'm actually kind of considering going back and building it, but with more engines, so it has more power, so it goes faster. Just more acceleration, more speed. We'll do that next time. We'll see. We'll see how quickly we can go superluminal next time. Exactly. More power. We are at 20% speed of light. 0.2 C. Dare I say unlimited power? Right now we have unlimited. Look at the G-forces. Like, we're pulling 15 plus Gs right now. Wait, this is taking too long. I'm gonna go down and we're gonna build... we're gonna build a faster craft. And we're gonna go superluminal here in a second. Okay, so here's my plan. Plan is very straightforward. We're gonna take a tower like that. Then we gotta... Actually, you know what? Let's make it square. Square is better. Hopefully that has attachment points on the side, because then I want to take... It doesn't have attachment points on the side, the small cube. Do I need thruster adapters? Thruster resizes? Tubes? There should be some cubes somewhere. Oh, those maybe. That's what I'm looking for. Much better. Okay, four-way symmetry is not really my friend, but that's okay. Let's move those all the way out to the edge. There we go. Very nice. And then just to strut it all together so that this thing has an actual chance of... Oh, no, this is not... This, oh, the strutting is not working. Because the four-way symmetry doesn't work on these things, apparently. We're just gonna put some struts in here to kind of keep the whole thing in check. There we go. And then I'm just gonna fix... no, it's still not straight. It's close enough. Now I'm wondering if this thing is gonna be able to get out of Atmos or if it's just gonna detonate itself and blow up. Okay, okay. 3, 2, 1. Off we go! Wait! Oh no, it's out of control. Okay, we're gonna have to rotate our way to space then. I think the lack of four-way symmetry was kind of what gave us some issues here. Alright, we need to build it with four-way symmetry if this is going to work. Because this is not working. Why can't I throw things away? Thank you. Okay, so if we try these towers again, I kind of like that idea. Okay, hold on. This might work. Oh yeah, this is better. It looks the same, but now we're building it with actual... I don't know if rotational... if angular momentum works in this thing. There we go. But now it's built with four-way symmetry, so I think there's a chance that this is going to be slightly more stable. If it doesn't, we're just going to try to put it into a spin. See? Much more stable now. That it is actually built with four-way symmetry. And it was about to go out of control. I wonder if this is going to become more stable when we get out of atmosphere. I think it will. Which we will very, very soon. I think maybe we actually already got into planetary. Not quite. But we definitely left Kerbin's orbit, so I'm just gonna... time warp a bit to stop the rotation. And then just try to flip us around so we're pointing the right way. Camera crashed. Did my camera crash? No, looks fine. Reaction wheels might have been in order here. Okay, I think it's actually able to stabilize itself now. Oh, the G-forces. Yeah, G-forces is fine. So now we just keep boosting upwards until we hit some more speeds here. And I was of course wrong with the speed of light. I was thinking it was 300,000 meters per second, but it's 300,000 kilometers per second. So we were very, very far from the speed of light. It's my bad. Okay, hold on. Let's try something. We're just gonna try to stabilize it here. It's still bouncing around a little bit, but... but it's definitely accelerating faster than the other one. Where's the fuel coming from? How is this engine running? We have some sheets on right now as we're trying to play around with the new antennas. So just extend that antenna. Basically what I'm trying to figure out is how the antennas are working. We've figured out so far, for people who've joined recently, what we figured out so far is that all the probes has a 50,000 kilometer base range that you can control them with. And as long as you're within those 50,000 kilometers, that's like slightly outside Kerbin's sphere of influence. It's quite a big area. The normal probe bodies will just have that range default without any antennas on. And it doesn't matter if you have line of sight back to the space center or not, you will have that connection. So it seems so far, at least in the current state of the game, it's just if you have the range, you're good to go. So that means if you're not going outside Kerbin's sphere of influence, you don't need to have any antennas at all. And we tried both going around the opposite side of Kerbin. We tried going on the back side of the moon to prevent us from getting line of sight back, and it worked. Then we tried to just go interstellar and see if we lost connection, and we did. So now we upgraded the antennas, because what I want to see is, when do we lose control here? Like, this is why we're playing with cheat codes, because I need to get far away from the Kerbal Space Center very, very quickly. Like, I need to get out to 130 gigameters. And here we have, right now, this is kilometers that we are away from Kerbin. But again, we are accelerating at a rather astonishing speed right now. Are we actually interstellar? We are interstellar. Like how the whole thing just like rocks around. I kind of want to leave this just flying like this, and then just because this will, in about an hour and a half of this, we should be superluminal. And it's still, at the current speed, it's still 100 something days, so we would actually be superluminal before we even leave Kerbin's sphere of influence. I know we're gonna accelerate also, but might actually just leave the game running afterwards and then just go after the stream and just let it keep running and just go superluminal, just to see what happens, and just because it's fun to break the game. We are at 12 megameters from the planet now. Yeah, I can't time accelerate, but look at this. Look at my throttle, my speed here. If I begin to time accelerate, it doesn't accelerate me. I'll fly fast, but I won't gain any additional speed. You see, as soon as I'm back to 1x time warp, then I'll begin picking up speed again. Which is kind of weird because it does work. I think it's a thing when you use the cheats, when you're using infinite fuel, then thrusting while time warping doesn't work. No, but it does work with. I used it earlier in the live stream. So it does work, but it just doesn't seem to work when you're using this infinite... what is that? Full control. You have full control and command to ComNet. Full flight functionality available. Okay, so we actually see it. There's a little icon there. Let's just go up to 100,000 meters a second. And then time accelerate. Getting there. Oh no, it's not mega, it's 130 gigameters we need to move away. Yeah, we need to go far. We're far. But we can time warp, we can get some distance real quick now that we're beginning to get some actual speed up here. And almost. There is 100,000 kilometers per second. Oh, this is kilometers per second. Not meters per second. Oh, now it's... Okay, yeah, we are 100,000 kilometers per second. 130... We are at 103, 104 kilometers per second. Right, because it's swapped over. That makes sense. Okay. We are now interplanetary. It says my vessel is out of communication range. But we have that. But the fact that we still have the little green icon there and throttle control determined that that is a lie. Bye-bye, Kerbin. Now my altimeter is not working anymore. Altimeter is broken, but it's counting there in the background. You can see the numbers going up there. That must be gigameters, I guess. Yeah, that must be the gigameters showing back there. So this antenna should have 130 gigameters of range, and I think those numbers shown behind there, that currently says around 6 gigameters. But that altimeter there, oh, hold on. C. We can swap that from C to ground, but it doesn't make any difference. Coming up to 10 gigameters. We are not 10% of the way out of the sphere of influence here. Or is that a gigameter now? Because now it went back to 1 point something after it went to 10. Huh. Can we see the distance to some of these objects in here? Hold on, I'm just going to try something. If I go back to one time and then go to the tracking station, can we then see how far away it is? Altitude, 0 meters. So it can't show the altitude when we go interstellar. It gets confused when we get too far away. can show our speed. Oh, thought it crashed there. Altitude, yes, exactly. Is this a problem when you're going straight up? Is that where it gets confused? But look at the compass there, how it's flipping around, which makes sense. I'm wondering if that is a thing when you're just going straight up, that it just has a hard time. What if you just lock it? And it still, like, bobs around a bit. It might actually be just a polar problem. Can't even see the star behind me anymore. It's just dark and black out here. Yeah, but again, apoaps and periaps doesn't really make sense when there is nothing to orbit, right? So AP and P doesn't really make sense. And you can also see the timeshares all over the place for when we're reaching it, because we are not in an orbit. And these stats doesn't make sense if we're not in an orbit. But we're not, because unless you're going interstellar, you will always be on an orbit. You will at least be orbiting Kerbin, the star. But without really knowing how far we are away, it makes it a little difficult. But I think, okay, so to summarize, I think there is a lot. Actually, hold on. Ugh, stop that. I just wanted to jump back on the camera here. I think the game, when it comes to remote control, the game still has a long way to go, because some of the things that I would really like to see added to Kerbal Space Program 2 is stuff like you needing line of sight in order to control your satellites, or to control your probes, so that you're forced to build satellite networks. Because I remember from KSP1, that's one of the things I liked the most. That was building these satellite networks and try to send remote probes to like the furthest reaches without sending any Kerbals out there, just doing it all remote, and build these like different stages where you could just like bounce signals from satellite to satellite all the way back to Kerbin, and you would have to bring extra satellites with you out to other planets, so that if you're orbiting a planet you didn't, and you got, well, like in shadow, you could still communicate. Like, it was super fun. I really liked that. And so that's one thing, is they need to implement line of sight so that it can be broken, so satellites actually become useful. The other thing I would really like to see is directional antennas. When we get up to these bigger antennas, making them omnidirectional just seems weird. And I would really like if they would actually make them directional. Not necessarily so that they have to point correctly, but that at least you have to say, this antenna is pointed at the Space Center. And that means that now that antenna is able to communicate with the Space Center and the probe, but that means if you're not pointing at the correct target, you might lose control. So you have to constantly be sure that you're pointing at a target that you can communicate with. I guess the only thing that's left to do when it comes to satellites and testing satellites would be to do more of a how small of a satellite can we build, basically? Like, what would be the minimal amount of satellite we could build to just give it a little bit of coverage here, right? So let's jump back in game and let's try to explore that avenue. Because this thing here can it will just keep flying, and it will do that until the end of time. We have gotten quite far, but again, if we compare with the sphere of influence that we can see here, we are not even, like, we can't even see that we have moved, right? So we have a long way to go. Can't see screen. You should be able to see the screen now. Yeah, you can see the screen now. There it is. Okay. Vehicle assembly building. Don't revert. There we go. Vehicle. Just keep that thing out there. I might continue with it later. One of the things you dislike about the game. Okay, but so what if it allows you, when you create your campaign, to choose, like, do you want remote, like, how I think it already does it, actually. Hold on, let's just try to go out to the main menu. I'm pretty sure when you create the game, you have the option to yeah, here we go. So here, for instance, you have a lot of options right now. For instance, how difficult do you want dockings to be? Do you want to be able to revert your flights? Do you allow quick loading? Do you allow stock vessels? And here you have it already. Probes require ComNet for control. And that means if you don't like that, you just go in and you disable it. I love that. I think it's one of the best parts of the game, building those networks. But if that's not your thing, if that's not what you want to do, you can just go in and disable it, and then you always have control over everything. Unbreakable joints, no crash damage, like, and you can see we also have the infinite fuel, infinite power. We can enable that there if you want to. I think doing something like this makes a lot of sense, because some people prefer to play this, like, very realistic with where you have to build the networks. My point is that having no reference and real clue how far dishes can reach forces you just go overkill on the comp network instead of just getting what you need. Yeah, okay, that's a fair point, I guess. What about setting a target? I tried to set a target. It didn't really work either. My altimeter is just broken. Okay, what I want to do is I want to see what we can do about building, like, tiny satellites. So this seems to basically be the smallest satellite core we can get our hands on. And even this has enough range. Like, you can see here. Isn't it? Okay, shift is not working. Oh, that's great. Exactly. We could build something if we could basically just mimic the Starlink satellites and just say, okay, we need like the smallest solar panel that we can get, and we can just, you know, plop that on there. Actually, just plop it in there so it just fits on. And then we just need a communication. Oh, how much internal battery does this thing have? We might need a battery just so it can survive an orbit. So plop a battery in there. Can we put this on top of the battery? Oh, that's perfect. And then communication. This one doesn't even need to be deployed. But we could fit a satellite like that in there. And that means when we deploy this, oh, we can't put the solar panel there. Because I want one side to be the side that we are basically docking this thing with when we're launching it, right? I really want to keep this as compact as possible. But I'm actually considering if going up to like a slightly bigger probe core makes sense. Because we can take a probe core like that. Yeah, this is much better. A little bit more room to play with. And then we just take solar panels, plop those on either side. Small batteries, plop that on either side. And then on top we find a suitably sized antenna. So basically like this. Boom. There you go. That's a very, very compact. That's a very compact satellite, and when we then deploy it, look at that. It also looks like a satellite. An ugly satellite. Hey, I like this satellite. It's pretty. So here's my plan. If we just do like a Starlink type mission here. So we basically take our probe core. And then, do we have fairings? Is it maybe on the cargo? We do have fairings. Ooh. Okay, we can build the fairing later. So what I want to do is basically say, okay, inside this fairing, we're gonna build all our satellites. So we need something to build the satellites on. So if we just take a stick, a smaller stick. Oh, maybe that is actually okay. We need a slightly bigger rocket. Start over. Medium-sized one should do. On top of the medium-sized one, we put a fairing. That was here, right? Yeah, here we go. Medium-sized fairing. And then we put a stick inside the fairing. Come on. There we go. And then we put some couplers. Why won't these stick to the side of these? That's annoying. No, Lord, can we have another plan then? What if we then, instead of using that stick, we just use boxes? Because they have attachment points. Just do like that. And then around the edge of this, why is this not? Oh, this is not working with four-way symmetry. Why is this so annoying? I want this to work with four-way symmetry. Because if I just put a normal box there and try to put a fairing on, oh sorry, a decoupler on that. Yeah, see, it won't symmetry on there. I should be able to copy and paste. Yeah, okay, I guess we can do that. So, we're gonna... Okay, hold on, let's do this. A cube. And one of those. And then the cobbler. Just build one here on the side. Guess we're gonna build it on that side. Then we're gonna add... the satellite there. Yeah. two-way symmetry. Maybe we should actually put this like so. Should we just, instead of expandable, just put like these on there? Because then we don't have to expand anything. What is the copy command? Is it Alt? Yes. Hold on. What on earth is going on here? So if I take this and copy, it rotates it. Look at that. Okay, now it works. Oh, it did it again. There we go. There's 16 satellites right there. We need to expand this outwards so that it's further out than the ferry or the antennas. You cannot plus where I need to put like a there should be like a plus icon. Oh, now there it is. Oh, because it's probably clipping into something. Won't let me finish the fairing. This is odd. I don't get fairings. Do I then what, put a nose cone on it or something? Okay, it's buggy. Okay. So a lot of that. That fairing is stupid. Oh, game is not happy right now. Structural, size it out to a bigger base. Just loading the parts in takes forever. I couldn't drag the top further together than it already is. I don't know which booster is best. I need something that's good ISP in Atmos. So something like that one. And then maybe just put some stabilizers on and call it a day. Alright, not sure if this will fly, but let's give it a go. We have all the Delta V. I haven't added that many parts. Wow. Game is not happy at all. Which game is more unfinished, this or Star Citizen? I'm gonna put my money on Kerbal right now. So I can't see a thing. Oh, there's a launch. Problem. If you go to the pole of the planet and walk, does the game still freak out in number 2? I don't know, I haven't tried that yet. I think the problem is our thrust to weight is 0. That's interesting because we clearly have an engine. But it's 0. Why? How is it 0? I mean, we could try to put on more parts. I guess that could solve it. Oh, these are the biggest boosters we got. I just added some massive boosters to the whole thing as well. Now we have a positive thrust to weight. Is that a vacuum engine? Is that the problem? It looked like it had okay thrust or specific impulse in... I might have to go for thrust when we are close to the ground. Let's just see what happens if we try to launch this. I didn't strut it, I didn't put nose cones on it. And we have ourselves a slideshow, look at that. I know there's no cones, there's no struts, there's nothing on it, it's just... And we get to watch this very, very slowly. Okay, so there's a lot of things, obviously, like... Comms network, as we talked about, is not really done. There's some problems with the ferries, doesn't seem to work. I couldn't get it to close at least. There is some performance issues. I mean, this is not outlandish. I know we have a lot of parts on the inside the ferry, but this is not like outrageous a number of parts, I think. And yet still the game is struggling. There is a lot missing, but at least we have a positive climb rate. Oh, we have infinite fuel on. Hold on. That's a bit cheating. Can we scroll out to get more FPS? Nope. Game worth getting yet? Are you running mods? No, there's no mods here. This is just stock KSP2. Nothing has been added, modified. It's just stock as it comes from Steam. Is the game worth getting yet? I would probably say maybe wait a month or two. I'm pretty sure the game is gonna be worth getting at some point. But it's not quite there yet. I still think it has a bit of a way to go. Because at this point I actually think unmodded KSP1 would probably be a better experience than what the 2 is right now. So that was definitely a long way to go for this game. I'm just gonna go straight up here, by the way. I'm not even gonna attempt to control this rocket and go sideways in any manner. I'm just gonna go straight up, keep going straight up, and then we'll figure out the orbit later. Yeah, that's true. The KSP1 did take a very long time to get into release. I really hope that they are faster with this one. I would hate to see this game sitting in early access for like years. I know it's a bit of a trend with games these days that you launch everything in early access and you just basically launch the game before it's done. And I mean, it's clever. You get to launch the game twice then, right? You get to launch the early access version and then people buy it then. And then you get to launch it, hopefully at some point when it's like done. And obviously people don't have to buy it again, but you get that extra promotion of the game when it then finally launches, right? So you get to launch twice. we move into the map? Is it any faster in here? Nope. So that's one thing, like when we're in the map, there's no reason for them to keep modeling everything in the rocket, I guess. I mean, at that point, the rocket should just, like, I guess maybe they have to. I don't know. The sound effect leaves a bit to be desired. Usually the engines actually sounds quite nice, but I think it's because the game is just running so slowly that it sounds a bit... I mean... I guess maybe it is the same. I don't know, I think it's okay. It's not that bad. I don't know if this has been asked, but has the performance on mid-range rigs been addressed yet? Not to my knowledge, no. But they need to optimize the game a lot. Fair enough that you can't run like multi-thousand parts rockets, but I mean, what are we dealing with here? We have 16 satellites. Each satellite consists of 6 pieces, 7 with the decoupler. So that's 16 times 7. That's like 100 and a bit. And then there's a few like blocks in there and other than that. So maybe we have like, I'm gonna say less than 150 parts in this rocket. I mean, it should not be running this poorly. With the with 150 parts in it. Is it still just pegging the CPU? Let's see. Obviously, it isn't right now. Let's just go here to the performance graph so we can see what's happening. Yeah, just stay running for a bit so we can give the... It's a good point over on Twitch that if the goal is for people to go and begin to build like massive moon bases and stuff, you're gonna need big complex rocket with like hundreds of parts. So you need to be able to run that effectively. Let's just go and check. Actually, CPU memory seems to be an issue right now, but it's not really like hitting the system that hard, which is weird. But I might just be running out of memory, basically. I have 12 gigs on this card, which is okay. It's not top of the line anymore, but it's okay. Spaghetti code, yeah, I get. There is some optimization that needs to be done. I'm gonna try to attempt a turn. I like that our solid rocket boosters are still firing. At least the solid rocket booster is gonna die soon, so hopefully that means we can ditch those. Yeah, the frame rate is terrible right now. I hope the frame rate's gonna improve when the solid rocket boosters turn off here in a bit. Still a bit of distance to cover to orbit. Yeah, I know this is just very slow, but I mean we have achieved suborbit, as we have a quite high periapse or apoapse, sorry. That's why I'm burning quite aggressively here to try and circularize the orbit. This is not a very efficient launch profile, but those solid rocket boosters should be out of fuel very soon. Wait for the oscillations to settle. Stage. Okay, looks like we got away with it. Clean separation. Oh, right-clicking on the fairing was was a bad idea. I'm just gonna wait until we are all the way to space before we ditch the fairing. I just hope that maybe ditching the fairing will help. Maybe it's just the fairing that's causing issues. But we need to get above 70 kilometers before I want to ditch the fairing, because that's when we reach space. So now, there we go, we are officially in space. And we can go ahead and try to ditch the fairing. Oh my god, the mouse controls is all over the place. Jettison the fairing. Can't see a thing. Maybe I should put some rotation into the craft before jettisoning the fairing. Fairing is still there. Cut the engines here. Gonna try to time warp close to apoapse. Look at that. You can see the fairing's orbits. The fairings are still being pushed in front of us, I think. No, oh, they should have separated now. It says again we lost control, but I'm gonna just say that's a lie. Vessel lost control. We're still in the green down here. Okay. We should be able to time warp now. It was just when we're using infinite fuel, it didn't seem to want us to time warp. You can see now we are accelerating even while time warping. Ah, throttle is locked. Kill the throttle. Alright. Not a super pretty orbit. But let's just get this thing into the daylight. Ah, that's not a very nice orbit, but okay, let's just launch the satellites anyway. I just want to be in the daylight when we do this, so I can actually see what I'm doing. Couplings, electrical communication. Now we're just turning on antennas everywhere. So that we can get ready for the launch. Wow, the frame rates. I hope when I decouple this that the game just doesn't explode. Okay, so we're actually pointing in a rather optimal position. I want to point so we're flying sideways. And then my plan is to take all of this, maybe take this entire stage, and move down there. And that's the one that's going to release the satellites. So what I want to do now is I want to begin to rotate the aircraft around. See if we can get some rotation on this thing. It really doesn't like rotating. It's going off. Oh, no, don't do that. Keep pointing there, actually. No, I should probably put maneuvering thrusters on it. Oh well, this will have to do. What we're going to do is we're just basically going to launch all these satellites. Alright, that actually worked quite well. Look at that, we got frame rates back. So they all now got scattered out in slightly different directions. And the idea now is that I'm not gonna crash into them. I hope. Just gonna make sure that I can actually clear these satellites without hitting them. Only hit a few of them. That's okay. Because because I'm just gonna deorbit now. Yeah, I knew I wanted to spin them, but I didn't have any thrusters on it. The frame rate was so bad that I didn't want to deal with it. But the idea now is that we can deorbit this aircraft here. There we go. And if we time warp this, basically just return to the tracking station. What we should see now is all those satellites there. Do we still have an aircraft like way out somewhere? Yes, that one. No, it didn't lose control. Oh, this is this one heading back. Where is the other one? God, okay. I just wanted to time warp. Observer can't leave active vessel. Okay, so we need to crash this thing first. Let's go then. Let's crash this thing faster. It won't let me stage. We might have lost control. Should still have control. Good. Now we go to the tracking center. Now we can time warp more. Nice. So the idea is you basically let these satellites over time, just let them orbit. And you can see here how they, over time, they'll begin to spread out around the planet. And now, that is a very cheap and easy way to just spam with satellites. And I wouldn't need that many. But, and again, if I rotated so they got more speed when I separated them, they would spread out even more. Did I create Starlink in KSP2? Kind of, yeah. See, now they spread out very nicely around the planet. So now we have pretty decent coverage of anything apart from the poles, of course. And we also got our frame rates back. Oh, we got two crafts out here. Oh, that's the slow one. Yeah, this is the fast boy. Oh, hold on. This thing has finally lost control. Look at that. But not quite. We can still control the antenna. But I haven't. Oops! I have in fact lost control. I can't accelerate. So either it's a bug when you basically let it drift on its own, or we have in fact maxed out our distance, but we have not even close to leaving the sphere of influence. Look at that. That's the sphere of influence. And we are there. Like, we have not even visibly moved away from the center of the system. So they're going to have to add some very, very fast engines that's going to allow us to accelerate super fast if they want us to do interstellar. I mean, we need to be able to do at least light speed before that's even possible. Yeah, I know we don't have any connections right now. That's okay. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it for today. Let me just get over here and jump over to that one. There it is. I would say the game is not quite there when it comes to satellites. It definitely has a lot of. It has a long way to go before stuff like satellites is going to be fully implemented. I'm actually a little curious to see what's the current status. Like, is there anything here on the roadmap? Let's just quickly take a look. Give me a second. I'm gonna show it to you in a second. That's not the one I want. I want that. Yes, this one. So we are right now. We're at the launch of early access. The next update. No electricity. Oh, did I run out of electricity? I did. Well, oops. The next update is going to be science gathering and tech research, when we begin to actually do tech trees. Then we can begin to get colonies and orbital vehicle constructions. This update here is when we begin to see people building really big vehicles. Did I swap to the right screen? And really big, complicated structures. So at this point here, they have to do something about the performance, because if I can't fly with 150 parts, that's never going to work. Then we get new star systems and interstellar scale parts. So there's going to add some new parts we can use for interstellar stuff. More star system, resource gathering, more launch locations, and multiplayer is going to be added. And there's going to be more, as we can see out here, that they're going to add later on down the right. But there's going to have to be some optimizations done, preferably here, but at least in the colonies update, it will have to have some optimization done, because otherwise it's just not going to be a viable way to go, I think. Because the game's going to be too laggy for you to be able to build any significant size structures, and just moving the structures around is going to be difficult. What gets released first, Star Citizen or KSP2? Probably KSP2, because the scope is so much smaller. Not willing to spend money on what I just saw. That's fine. I could definitely understand that. I would also say, like, if you haven't bought the Kerbal Space Program 2 yet, and you want to at some point, I would still say wait. Unless you really just have to go and have to try and play it now, I would say wait, give it some time, Because I think the point where it gets really fun is after the colony update, because all this stuff we have now and the stuff we're getting in the next update, it's all stuff we have in KSP1 already, right? This is when the new stuff begins to get it. Proper like support for building off-planet bases, proper interstellar travel. There is some resource stuff. I'm not sure if it's actually official or if it's mods, but there are some resource gathering stuff in the game in Kerbal 1. Sorry. And those two here are definitely the one where I think there's going to be the most new content added to the game. So this will probably be around when these updates comes out that I would recommend people going in, with the caveat that we'll see how developing goes. One thing though is, and that's something people have been asking a lot, I've not been able to get an answer to or seen any answers to what's the timeline here. Like, is this next year? Is this in a month? Is this in a few weeks? I don't know. I don't know what the timeline is here. I mean, it's fair enough saying we have these updates going to come out in this order, but without a timeline, at least an estimate the timeline. Fair enough that you can't make dates on each of them. But at least, are you targeting this to be every quarter, every year? Like, is this a 5-year plan we're looking at, or is this a 1-year plan, or half a year, or something? That would have been, I think, a nice addition. Also, just do some expectation management, because if you don't, people are just gonna say, oh, the game's gonna be out soon, but realistically, it's probably gonna stay. I personally think that this is probably going to be looking at like a year before we are out here in the multiplayer section. So there's quite a way to go, I think. But as I said, I'm going to call it for today. Did that swap? There we go. I have some... each get released in August, no year noted. What is that? Have they said that? I don't know. Anyway, as I said, I'm gonna call it for today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would. What's the camera? That's the camera. I would really appreciate if you would do so. Again, I'm hunting that. Oh, you made it up. Okay. I'm hunting that 100,000, and it's getting real close. I would love if you would help me get there. Rumor has it that later this week we're gonna get update 3.18 for Star Citizen. So. I'll probably imagine that next week is going to be some Star Citizen stuff. We're going to go and play around with that. And I hope you guys will join me for that, as we're going to go and play around with all the new stuff that's going to be added. If you're not really sure what's been added in 3.18, then don't worry, because later this week I am going to release a video giving you a very quick overview of what's coming in that update. So if you're into Star Citizen, then exciting times just around the corner. Now, of course, with the caveat that we don't know if it's actually going to come. They just said that so far they are aiming for having 3.18 go live this week. I'm probably going to hang out over on Discord slightly for a short time hereafter. I have some codes to give away, some people who want some paint jump packs over there. So I'll hang out over on Discord. If you're Discord, come by. It's discord.d2a.com and have a chat. I'm just going to go and get a bio break, and then I'll be over there talking to you guys if you want to. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and also next time, I need to get used to that. I'm used to having the camera above the screen, so always look up there, but now it's here. Thanks so much for watching, and also next time, I'll see you guys in space.